awake and very much attentive throughout the session, because we are gonna have a bit more chit chat and a bit more explanation. So we would like you all to be more responsive as much as you want, right? So first of all, let's get a thumbs up in the chat box. Come on, let's see that. Yeah, Anish has given. Yo. Ooh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. So I guess all are very much attentive. So it's better let's not take any more time and let's get started. So good morning, everyone. Predicting the future isn't magic. It's artificial intelligence. Make sure about that, right? So with this quote, I, Amrit Kumar, the lead of the machine learning domain, would like to welcome you all for this mega event through behalf of DSC AISSMS Pune. So today we are going to have some discussions and we are going to introduce you through the machine learning domain, data cleaning and visualization. Make sure about that. So first of all, tell me how many of you are a beginner or have some intermediate knowledge about machine learning, about what is machine learning and what kind of things we do in machine learning. Let's write in the chat box, guys, because I want to know about what kind of crowd we are supposed to represent, right? Have some knowledge. Okay, Ayushi have some knowledge. Yash is very basic. Okay, Akhilesh is intermediate. Great. Basic knowledge. Great, great, great. So I guess let's know some basics. Anish knows some basics. Well, let's not take so much of time, and let me make sure that this event is for everyone, even for the noob ones, or I mean the beginner ones, because we are gonna make you understand what is machine learning, and also the intermediate ones who have some little hands-on practice about machine learning libraries and machine learning uh, techniques and algorithms. So let's get started, right? So this is my team, Amrit, me, Radhika, and Abhishek and Nishant. Today we are all gonna explain you bit by bit everything. So make sure about that. We want a responsive crowd as much as it could be, right? Radhika, let me represent now.
Yeah, sure, Amrit.
Can anyone tell me that is my screen visible?
Yes, Amrit, it's visible.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Anish. Thank you, Darshan. Yup. So I may not be able to see the chat box. Okay. So first of all, let's not waste any more minute and let's get started. First of all, I would like to tell you how Google has contributed in this technology. Okay. Because Google has done, because as this is a Google club, Google Developer Student Club. So we want you to introduce about how Google has contributed throughout their journey in this tremendous scope of technology of great development throughout this year. So what is Google's mission? Now, so the Google's mission is organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Google has 7 cloud products with more than 1 billion users, and that's a huge number. Maybe more than that. We never know, right? So that's a really great and huge number, which means that Google has contributed tremendously in this technology. Now, putting things in perspective, there's a relation between AI, machine learning, and neural network or deep learning. So as you can see in this Venn diagram, right? AI, the one in the blue section, is actually the science to make things smart. Whereas ML is actually a subset of AI which can build machines that can learn, right? And neural network, which is a subset of machine learning, is the type of algorithm in machine learning, right? So from the next time, if anybody asks you what is AI and ML, so show them this figure and explain this to them, right? So what is machine learning? Machine learning is learning from examples and experience. That's it, simple. Nothing more fancy, nothing more descriptive. It's just a learning from examples and experience, just like as humans we do in normal days. Let's see how ML has grown after all this year. So first of all, ML has grown in a tremendous way in speech recognition, like Google's OK Google, right? In computer vision, like Google's Google Lens. In medical analysis also. In robot control, we have seen so many Japanese robots, even American robots, and even Indian robots these days. And computational biology also. So we can't say that machine learning has not shown its effects in the real world environment. And this trend is accelerating. Why now? Because it turns out to be difficult to extract knowledge from the human experts in the 1980s. That mostly leads to the failure of the expert systems. But now it's quite easy, right? So let's try some human-powered image detection. I'm gonna tell you how AI is being used. But first of all, let's try some human detection, how we do it, how we detect things, right? So how would we do this without ML? Let's take two pictures, an apple and an orange, right? So can we do this without ML? Turning this into a black and white image. I guess I can't see the chat box, but I hope that you may say that we can use black and white filter these days, right? We can use it in our own mobile. But don't think of a single few images, but think of the data in gigabytes and so on, which becomes difficult without ML. I guess you are getting it, right? Maybe I receive a notification. Just a minute, guys. Yep. Okay. Great. 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 Sorry to bother. So yes, we can do this with ML, but it's quite difficult to do this without ML, right? These are some image detection. As a human, we can easily detect what is a dog and what is a mop, right? It's easy, right? But for machine learning, it's a bit tricky. Not easy as we can say, but it's a bit tricky. So first of all, let me introduce you to the types of the machine learning. So first of all, it's the supervised learning. Supervised learning means the usage of labeled data in training of a model. Okay, so what is a labeled data? Which has data as well as the output. And the goal is just simple to learn the relationship between the data and the output. That's it. That's supervised learning. I'm going to show you what are the examples of each type, but let's first get the simple definitions of what are the types of machine learning. Second is the semi-supervised learning, partially labeled data, nothing else. And online active learning, real-time incremental learning on data streams. I guess you are all aware of Google Cloud. So in the Google Cloud, we use the online active learning, and that's where we use that technique. Okay. So next one is the unsupervised learning, means the training of data with unlabeled data, right? And the goal is just to learn associations, groups, etc., etc. Now, the last and the final is the reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning allows the machine or software agent to learn its behavior based on feedback from the environment. As we can already see that companies like Tesla has made tremendous advancements in uh, automatic vehicles, and automatic vehicles are examples of reinforcement learning only. So make sure about that it's the reinforcement learning, and we are using machine learning in day-to-day life right now. So let me tell you what are the things or what are the examples we use in each type. So for the first of all, in the supervised learning, we do two things: classification and regression. In classification, we use identity fraud detection, image classification, okay, customer retention, diagnostics. These all come under classification. And in regression, advertising popularity prediction, weather forecasting, market forecasting, estimating life expectancy, population growth prediction. So all the prediction systems comes under regression techniques. Okay. Now, in the unsupervised learning, there are two types of algorithms: clustering and dimensionality reduction. So in clustering, we use recommender systems, targeted market, customer segmentation. So whenever we use recommendations, there we are using unsupervised learning, and that comes under clustering, right? Now dimensionality reduction, big data visualization, meaningful compression, structure discovery, and feature elicitation. So whenever we need to use big data kind of stuffs, so there we use dimensionality reduction. And last but not the final, reinforcement learning. As I already told you an example of Tesla, so real-time decisions, as we have robot navigation, and all of these features are available in Tesla cars, right? Learning task, skill acquisition, and game AI. I guess you all are also aware of Google's game plan, right? Brain team, they have developed a game. So all of these game AIs comes under reinforcement learning itself. Now, how can you get started with the machine learning, right? So there are three ways with varying complexity. Okay, use a cloud-based or mobile API. These are for the beginner levels, the ones who doesn't know how to code. Because cloud-based systems and mobile APIs gives you tremendous features and almost no coding environment where you can create or develop any model you want, or use an existing model architecture and retrain it or fine tune it on your data set. Okay, the ones who don't know about the algorithms, they can use this kind of technique. And the third one, develop your own machine learning models for new problems. So these are for the expert people. For the experts who are in this meeting right now, they should probably go through this method, develop your own machine learning models, right? Because you can do so many customizations according to you, according to what is suitable for your own data. Now, I would like to tell you about what is TensorFlow, right? So, TensorFlow is a free and open source software library, Python library actually it is. So, especially used for deep learning, and it was actually developed by the Google Brain team. Okay, so that's why TensorFlow is quite rich in the market right now, quite famous in the market. But TensorFlow has so many features from so many other Python libraries. Okay, it's a mixture of different techniques, and you don't need to know all about the algorithms using TensorFlow. But today, we are not going to cover TensorFlow, as TensorFlow has so many features of other base libraries like NumPy, Pandas. So now I would like my friend Abhishek to continue. And if you want to ask anything, then write it in the chat box and we will definitely answer them. uh, right now or at the end of the event we are going to have a section for Q&A, so we'll make sure to answer your doubts there. You can ask anything related to machine learning. We are all available here. Hello Abhishek.
Yeah. Thank you, Amrit. Your part was quite informative for everyone, I guess. So let me present now. I hope my screen is visible. So,
Yes, it's
hel-
available.
yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek Monik, and for next few minutes I'll walk you through the NumPy library of Python. So before starting, let me introduce the agenda of our session as far as NumPy is concerned. We'll see what is NumPy, NumPy versus list, NumPy operations, and few of the NumPy special functions. So what is NumPy? NumPy is the core library for scientific computing in Python. It provides a high-performance multidimensional array objects and tools for working with these arrays. Now, as you can see on the screen, we have a multidimensional arrays, and whenever we come across a data that is multidimensional array in machine learning, NumPy arrays are highly preferred because it has a lot of functionalities that eases our task. We will come to know as we pass on the session. So moving ahead, installation of NumPy library. Before working on any library or module, first prerequisite is to have it on our machine. So basically the installation process is quite easy. It has to, if you have conda distribution on your system, then you can go for the first command, that is conda install numpy, or pip install numpy will also work. So before heading further, let me show you how NumPy libraries are actually, NumPy arrays are actually created. So I hope everyone is familiar with the normal Python list, which we create like this. Yeah, so we got the normal Python list. Now how to convert it from a regular Python list to a NumPy? For that, first we need to import NumPy as np. This np can be anything. Then just call np.array and pass the list that we have created. Here we go. We get our normal Python list is typecast into NumPy array. So what about the case when we want to create a multidimensional array? It is quite easy as well. Suppose we create another list 4, 5, 6, and here we go. We got a two-dimensional array. So this is how we normally create a NumPy array. There is one more method to create such arrays, like using a range function. It is pretty much similar to the regular range function we have in Python. So if we want to create a NumPy array between 1 to 10, then we need to pass 11, as 11 is excluded. And there is also a step argument. I hope everyone is aware of the regular range function. It is quite similar. So this is how we create a NumPy array. So you must be wondering why to use NumPy if we got list in Python. So basically there are more advantages, but we will cover the most important ones. That is, it requires less memory. It is quite fast. NumPy arrays are near about 5 to 100 times faster than the regular Python list, and it is pretty convenient as well. So suppose you must be wondering that why to use NumPy. Suppose now we are working with machine. Now we are going to work on machine learning. So in machine learning, we don't have lists like of 10 elements or 20 elements. We have a gigantic data. We have entire data sets. So for that, to ease the normal mathematic operation, NumPy provides the whole set of mathematic operations. So we will come to know what all operations we can perform easily in NumPy as compared to the list. So moving ahead, here comes the operation part. So covering the most important ones, I'll go for the finding the dimension of the array, find the byte size of each element, find the data type of elements. So let me show you practically how all this works. Suppose we create an array, np.array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here we have the array A. Now, if we want to find the dimension of the array, what we need to do is that just pass a dot ndim. Now this will give the output as 2, indicating that it is a two-dimensional array. Suppose our array is one-dimensional, so we will get the output as 1. Let's see, does it work or not? Yeah, we got a one-dimensional array. So this is how we use ndim method. And then suppose to find the size of each element in the array, if we create a two-dimensional array again, what's the problem here? Okay, my bad. Yeah, so if we want to find the byte size of each element, then what we need to do is that a dot item size, this will return 4. That is, each integer value will be of 4 bytes. Same is the method for finding the data type of the element, which goes like a dot d type, and here we go. We got integers. That is all all elements of our array are integers. So these are the some of the basic operations, and there are also finding the size of the array and shape of the array. Let me do it for you. A dot size, we got 6, and that is there are 6 elements in total. And if you want to find the shape, that how many rows and columns are present, then just call a dot shape, then you will get 2, 2 and 3. Now this is the number of rows. See, you can hear this is you can see there are 2 rows and 3 columns. So it's that easy. Let's see what is served next on our plates. Yeah, we got minimum, maximum, sum functions. So let us do a dot min, call the minimum function. See, you can see it is returning 1. That is this one. Let me copy it down. Yeah, now we will do a dot max. It will return 5. You can see this is the highest element of the array. And a dot sum, you can calculate the sum must be 18. So this is the normal basic operations in NumPy arrays. Now moving ahead, we will see what is reshape and slicing. So reshape, by its name, we can see from the diagram that the rows and columns have been interchanged. That is, the 2 by 3 array has been converted to 3 by 2. Let me show you practically how it works. Suppose let's take the same array A, and we will perform a reshape operation on it. We'll pass a tuple, which will include the desired shape. And you can see we got a 3 by 2 matrix. This 2 by 3 has been converted to a 3 by 2. And now talking about slicing. Slicing is actually extracting particular set of elements from an array. So suppose, let's take the same example, our array A, and suppose we want this 3 and 5 as our output. So what we need to do is that we just have to do the indexing part, A comma 2. Now see, we got this 3. Let's focus on with the first 3, third, 0th, second element. Then we will go for next. So let me explain how this syntax actually works. You must be knowing in regular Python, we do A 0 comma 2, which will give us the third this element. So in NumPy arrays, the only difference is that we remove these brackets and just assign comma here. So this is how it works. And suppose if we want 3 and 5, so what we need to do is that array 0, it will start from the 0th index, and just colon comma 2. Now this colon, what it means that it will start from the 0th and go till the end, last row. Now to remove the confusion, let me create one more array. It will make you clear. And suppose I insert one more row here, that is 6 comma 7 comma 8. And now I perform the same operation here. Yeah, so now the output will be 3, 5 and 8. It will also include this 8 because we have colon here. The colon represents that go till end. See, we got 3, 5, 8. So this is how slicing actually works. I hope everyone is clear. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. Now here comes the concept of axis. Now before moving ahead, I would like to inform you that the columns of our array are assigned as axis 0 and rows of our array are assigned as axis 1. So let me show you how practically it works. So you must be thinking, what is the use of these axes? So if we want to suppose find the sum of each row, then how to do that? We just need to assign axis as, now for each row axis is 1. You can see here axis is 1. So just assign axis equals to 1. And now we will get sum of every row, like 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12, and it goes on. Now next, axis equals to 0. Same is the case. You get the sum of each column. So moving ahead, there are also the square root operations. Just a second, guys. Yeah, there are also square root and standard deviation operations. Like suppose if we want to find the square root, just call np.sqrt a, and you can see we got the square root of each and every element of the array. Same goes for the deviation as well. So this is how the normal mathematical operations are provided by arrays. I hope everyone is clear up till this point. Just put thumbs up in chat box if you can. Yeah, Shri says yes. Omkar says yes. Okay, let's move ahead. Now these are the arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction. You can also perform. It is quite easy. No looping required, nothing required. Just create an array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's create another array B. And now let's perform some arithmetic operations like a plus b, which will give us 2, 3, 4. You can do the addition. It won't be wrong. Then you can do a minus b as well. A plus b also works. A divided by b is totally fine. So this is how the normal arithmetic operations are also work. And there is one more function known as line space. I'll show you what it does. Line space. It actually takes three arguments like starting, ending, and third argument. I'll show you what this third argument indicates. See, what we have got five values because we have passed here five. Now you can see the values are evenly distributed from 0 to 3. Now if you subtract any two adjacent values, the difference between them will be every time constant. So this is how the line space works. I hope everyone is clear up till this point. And these are the some of the basic functions we can do using NumPy arrays. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. So this is from my side. I would like Nishant to carry forward. Over to you, Nishant.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. I'll share my screen now. Just a second, check if the screen is visible or not.
Yes, Nishant. Just 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry to interrupt. Guys, I just want to know to make you sure that there will be a Kahoot quiz session after Nishant's presentation. So be attentive. If you feel like it's getting too fast or too slow, then do tell us, okay? Because we would like to give you a gist about how NumPy and pandas can be used and are actually used. So we just want to give you about how we use the NumPy functions and all. So if you are facing any issues, then do give us the response in the chat box. Yes, Nishant, continue.
Okay, sure. Just check if my screen is visible or not. So is my screen visible?
Yes, Nishant.
Okay. So let's get started with another interesting and powerful library in Python known as Pandas. Okay. So I'll just tell you that in next 20-25 minutes, we are going to understand all the WH questions: what, how, why. All these WH questions related to pandas, like what pandas is, how pandas is used, why pandas is used. All these questions would be answered. Okay. So just see the agenda of our today's session, as we are going to see WH questions. Then we are going to see its data structures, that are series and data frame. Then we will see some basic ideas of series creation. We will see some basic ideas of data frame creation. We will understand the important buzzword, what is data set, and some basic functions related to data set. And then the most important part of our today's session, data cleaning and visualization. Data cleaning we need to understand. Okay, so we are having less time, so let's get started. Okay, so let's first understand what is pandas. So pandas is a fast, powerful, and flexible, easy to use open source Python library. Understand this, that it's a Python library written for working with data sets. And so it is what does it offer? Okay, what does it offer us, and why pandas is used? So uh, pandas is used basically for analyzing the data and manipulating the data, cleaning the data. And why it is used? Because it provides faster operational speed for working on these data sets. You need to understand that the data right now generated is around gigabytes and terabytes, right? And so if we are going to clean this data manually, it is going to take hell lot of time. So these pandas and other other libraries help us to optimize our speed and do the analysis in a faster way. Now, how pandas help us doing this? It does it by providing us some data structures and some operations and operations, and using these data structures and operations we are able to find out and get answers of most of the data. Okay, so let's get started with some important pandas data structures. Okay, so I guess till this time, if have you understood why we are using pandas? Just give me yes or no in chat box. I cannot see you right now. I'll just switch over. Like, did you understand why pandas is used and how? I'll show you how it is used next, but I'll start with how. Okay. So many of you are saying yes. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I'll just use this only. Okay, now we need to understand pandas data structures. So the first and foremost important pandas data structure is series. You need to visualize series as column. Okay, column of a single table. We have seen ladder, right? So ladder is what, having multiple rows and single column. So visualize pandas data series as a column. Okay. Now next, when multiple series are combined together, it forms a table, right? It forms a grid. It forms a grid structures having rows and columns. So data frame is nothing but a two-dimensional array. It is having rows and columns. That's the simplest and the basic definition of pandas data structure. Okay, so I'll explain data frame and series in depth further. But did you get the basic ideas? Since we are having some of the students from first year also, so I have tried my level best to tell them the most basic definition. So first year students, are you able to understand what series is and what data frame is? Yeah. So Yash, Anish, okay, yes, good, understanding, good. Okay. Now let's get started with how to install pandas on local machine. I guess most of you have installed pandas on your local machine, or have you used Google Colab, the link which I have sent just before? Like, can you just tell what are you using right now? Like, have you installed pandas? Sorry, have you installed Python? Just give me yes or no. Or okay, so using Jupyter. Okay, good. Collab. Okay, that's great. Right. So now we will yeah. So using this command, pip install pandas or conda install pandas. Conda is for anaconda distribution and pip is for normal Python. Okay. So I'll just show you hands-on how this will help us install. Now, are you able to see the workshop like VS Code environment? Okay, I'll just switch back. Yeah, yes, you were able to see. Okay, so the exclamatory mark in Python shows that it is using terminal as a reference. Okay, just understand some of the basic terms. This is just a session for understanding, right? So using this pip install pandas, we can install pandas in our environment. Now I'm having it already, so it is showing me requirement already satisfied, but in your systems it will install. Next, we need to import pandas as PD. We need to import that pandas in our Python notebook. Okay, so in this way we have imported pandas in our this Python notebook. Okay, now let's see methods of series creation. Okay, so there are see, we have seen that series is what, one dimensional data structure, right? So we can create series using what, all list. We can create it from dictionary, numpy array, numpy randoms, and numpy line space. Okay, so in this today's demo I'm going to show you creating series from list. Okay, so let's get back to the VS Code environment. Okay, so here I have provided a list. Okay, A is the list which is having element 1, 5, and 9, and I have passed it into the series class. This series class is actually that is used for creating the series. Okay, and so we have created a series with default indices, that 0, 1, 2 here is the default indices. Now, how do we access the series? How do we find out elements from this series? We use index operator, the basic stuff which is associated with series, right? Associated with lists. So when we index it, okay, yeah. So with index 0, I'm getting the value as 1. Okay, now since we were using 0, 1, 2 as the default indices, if we wish to create our own indices, okay, so that can be done using index operator. Okay, this index operator, and inside index operator we are going to provide values. Okay, a, b, c are these values, and so I have here I have created a series with some our own labels, right? A, b, c are these our own labels. Now, how do we access these using our own labels? That can be done by passing that actual index inside the index operator. Okay, and so with a as its index, we are able to see the value as 1. So just give me thumbs up in the chat box if you are able to understand what I just said, like how we just saw basic of what series is and how the basic stuff of creating series. Okay, yeah. Now let's get to the next data structure of Pandas framework is data frame. So we have seen that data frame is what collection. It's a two-dimensional array, right? Having rows and columns. So how do we create data frame? We can create it from list of lists, dictionary of lists, zip method. Zip method is advanced. It is right now. I'm not going to show you anything, but make sure to learn and understand it with further sessions. Okay. Then we could create data frame from dictionary of series. So right now in this demo session, I'm going to show you how to create data frame from list of lists. So let's get back to our Jupyter environment. Okay. So for creating data frame, we are going to use the data frame as a class. So data frame is the class. Okay, is my voice, am I audible? I'm getting some messages as I'm not audible or something. Yeah, okay, I'm audible. Yeah, thank you everyone for letting me know this. Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah. So where I was, yeah. So using data frame as the class, we are going to create data frames. Okay. Now I have passed here what? I have passed a list of lists. You can see here inside one square bracket, I have passed another square bracket, Tom 95 and Jerry 96, right? And using this, we are going to create a data frame. Now see how the data frame looks inside Python environment. It has a peculiar style, a peculiar visual effect which is given. And to why I'm saying this, because further when we see what are data sets, we will understand why I told this. Okay, so just make sure, just look this how the data frame looks inside Python environment. Now we have given columns, right? Column names and marks. Now how do we find out, how do we access the data frames elements? Row wise. Okay, I'm not going to show in this method how to do it with column wise, but just I'll show the basic important stuff for accessing it in row wise. So there is Pandas provides two important methods, lock function and ilock function. So lock function is used to find out the value in the data frame, and with index operator it will work on that particular value, and ilock function is used with integer or default indices. Okay, so as you could see, when I passed indices 1 over here, I could get the values as Jerry 96. Okay, so in this way we are able to find out ilock. Now if similar to series, if we wish to create our own indices, right, like 0, 1, 2 was the default index, but if we wish to create series with our own indices for referencing, we could just pass it into index, right? Day 1, day 2, day 3, and in this way also we could just create data frame. Okay, now how to access this labeled series? Just use the index name, right? So day 2, if I wish to access the day 2, all the values of the record day 2, we could use just day 2 inside the lock function. You could see here that lock function is actually has taken input as string instead of iLock function taking it as integer. So this is the power of lock function which can be used in data frames. Okay. Now let's get back to our PPT and understand the next important part, that is data sets. So till now, are you with me? Like, have you understood what we just saw? How data frame is, how data frame is used, and how we are able to access it? Okay. So I've given a couple of yes, good. Okay. Just don't get bored in case if you feel that I'm quite fast or if you feel I'm not able to understand anything, just put it in chat box. I'll just slow down my pace. Is my pace okay? Okay. Yeah, okay. So let's get next to what are data sets. So data set, simplest definition of understanding data set is collection of data. You can see we visualize collection of data in tabular for data or in some other formats. If we could visualize the data in tabular formats, then each column represents a particular variable and each row corresponds to particular record. So this order ID, product, category are each variables of the data, and 1, 2, 3, 4 these indices, and these all are the records, caret, variables, 4, some amount. So these are records of them. So simplest definition of data set is that it's a collection of data, and that data can be visualized in tabular data format with rows and columns. So did you understand some basic stuff that in Python, whatever we saw as a data frame, same is actually the data set? Did you understand that data set is nothing but just collection of rows and columns, and this is actually the data frame this is actually the data set. Okay, so are you able to understand what data set is? Because data set is a buzzword right now in market, but I've tried my level was to help you understand the basic. Okay, so did you understand data set? Yeah, so there are, okay. Pratik, can lock take an integer argument? Yes, lock can take integer as an argument. Okay, now let's get back to our data set. Okay, so these are common data set format. Now, why I said that data set is important, like we visualize data set in tabular format, but there are other formats of data set also. We can see the data set in form of JSON file. We could see this in HTML file. We can see that data set in the form of SQL file. And corresponding to those, there are Pandas functions to read this data set. Okay. So, did someone say something? Okay. Then why iLock is used? Okay, Pratik, we will come back to these questions and all. Let me tell the further part, and we will come back to these questions. Okay, I'll answer your question. Okay. So these were the common data sets, right? Now, yeah. So I'll just show you how we import data set in our Python environment. Okay. So that can be done using the read CSV method. Okay, here you could see the read CSV, and I have created, I have taken a dirty data set because our most part is right now after this is we need to clean this data set. So let's take a look of how this data set looks. Okay, so are you able to see the Excel file? I won't be able to see right now, but just understand how this Excel file is. And you could see some marked yellow column cells. These are actually wrong data inputs. Now, for the next part is how we are going to clean this data. Okay, so no, some empty spaces, some wrong data format. Okay, so now how we are going to clean this data set is our next part. Okay, so I'm going to import this data set. Now you see this is a data frame, right? The small, before we saw a smaller data frame, right now we are seeing a big data frame, right? This dirty.data CSV, which we imported from external, when it is read inside Python environment, and it is visualized in the form of a data frame. And that's the reason I just told you all the important part of data frame, right? Now let's see some of the important functions associated with data frame. For that, I'll just switch back to PPT. Okay. So some basic functions of Pandas dataset are what? Head, which is used to return top n rows. Then tail, which is used to return bottom n rows. Info function is used to get summary of the data frame or data set. Describe is used to get some basic statistical information. You know, Pandas is basically used for analysis purpose, and any analysis cannot be done without statistical tools. So Pandas provide describe method to show the basic statistical formats. Now I'll show you this all methods one by one. Okay. So we are going to see the data. So with head, we could see the five information here. With tail, I could see the bottom five records. With info method, we could see what type of what all categories are there, like columns, a different column, which how many nulls are there, how many data, what data types are, okay, memory usage of this file. This all information we get from data.info. And then data.describe. So with this describe method, we get the basic information of the statistics, like what is the total number of elements, mean, standard deviation, minimum. 50% is again median. So these all information which is part of a which are parts of statistics, we get it from this data. Okay. Now let's get back to our PPT, and I'll show you the next part, that is the most important part, like why this session is and why we are learning Pandas. Okay. Before that, just give me yes or no in chat box. Were you able to understand what was dataset and how we were able to visualize dataset in the form of a data frame? Okay, couple of yes. Okay, good, good. Okay. Now let's get back to PPT. Okay, so data cleaning. What does data cleaning is? Simplest definition: fixing bad data in your data set. Data set is what? Columns and tables. Bad data is entered into your columns and tables, and we need to clean it somehow. Now, how we are going to say that this is a bad data? So to say this is a bad data, we are having some values, like there is some empty cell, data is inputted in the wrong format, there is a wrong data, or there are duplicates. So these four will classify data as a bad data. So there are various methods which we are going to use for cleaning this data. So some of the data cleaning methods are, these are the functions. Okay, these are functions, and I'll show you hands-on right now. Just go through these functions, and you will understand it in bit depth with actual hands-on. Okay, so drop in a method will give us a new data frame with no empty cells. All the empty cells would be removed from drop in. Fill NA will replace that empty cell with a value, some specific value. Now we can replace this value with mean, median, and mode. We cannot just lose that data, right? Drop NA will empty that cell, and when we are dealing with some of 1 TB or some data, at that time each and every single row is important, right, for creating model. So at that time we just cannot remove that empty cells. So there is another method known as fill NA. Then for date time formats, we have two date time format function. Then we have for duplicates, to remove duplicates, we have drop duplicates, and to reset the index, we are having reset index. Now I'll show you this hands-on right now in Python environment. Okay, so yeah, so here you see that at various row number 20, we are having a empty cell. Again at row number 24, we are having an empty cell. So these all empty cells we need to get cleared, right? We need to remove this. So as I said before, drop NA is the method used. So using this drop NA, I can remove those cells, right? So if you could see that it was at position number 18, right? After 17, the 18 is missing. That row has been removed. Okay, it was having that empty cell. But remember one thing, that since we are using a small data set, it is completely fine for removing things. Sorry, it's okay. Like we can do it. But with larger data sets, and we need to again use fill in a method, because each and every data is important for client, right? For making model. So we are going to use fill in a method. For doing that, I'm going to just store all the values, that mean of the calories input column, right? So this calories input column, all these values, the mean of these values is stored in mean one. So we are getting mean as 304.68, median as 291.2, and mode as 300. So we are just going to replace this with mean. Okay, and so let's see the data frame again. So we have replaced. Now you could see over here that at value number 18, right, we were having empty element at value number 18. Now we have replaced it with 304, our mean in 304 in value number 18, right? Another we were having at 28, so we have replaced it with 304. Now next, for cleaning stuff, we saw that there is some date time format wrong. There is date time in a wrong format. Okay, so this 2020 1226 is a different format than these all the rest of dates, and there is again a null element. So we need to remove these all also, or we need to manipulate this data also. So for doing that, we have this toDate function, date time function. This will help us to bring all the date in a proper format, okay, a fixed date time format. So you could see here that all the dates have been converted into another format, right? A fixed format. Now here we saw another NAT, that is not a time. Okay, since we were having a null element, so that got converted into NAT. Now we need to just remove this. Okay, I'm showing you method. I understand you won't be able to do it simultaneously, but just get like go through these all methods, and when we are going to provide you with this Python notebook, the recording and all these stuffs, so you can just try it hands-on later. Okay, so I have removed it. You could see that at column number, sorry, row number 22, I was having that NAT. So you could see over here that after 21 there is 23. So 22 row has been removed. Okay. Now you could see that almost the data is cleaned, but there is another problem, that 450 is out of range completely. Like 45 and 60s are the values, and 450 is much higher. This is a wrong data input, right? So we need to remove it. So we are going to replace it with mode of that column, right? The durations mode is 60, and now we are going to write a small function using the lock. Okay, using the lock, and we are going to replace it with that 60. Okay, so at value number 70 we were having 450, that has been replaced with 60. Okay, are you with me, everyone? Like, are you able to understand what I have till now? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Let's get back to the further parts of data cleaning. Okay. Now we need to check duplicates. Okay. So it generally happens that people tend to write data like more than one time. So duplicate records can be created. Now we need to remove those duplicates. So pandas provide a method known as duplicates. We cannot find out duplicates by our eyes. Okay, like you cannot find out this method, this row has been duplicated or this row has been duplicated. For that we need to have some proper tool. So this duplicated method shows us which all have been duplicated. So you could see over here that row number 12 has been duplicated with some data in our data set. So we need to remove this duplicate, and so we will remove it using drop duplicates method, right? So using drop duplicates, the row number which was 12 has been removed. Okay, so after 11 you could see that there is a 13, so 12 number row has been removed, so that part is also clean. Now one important thing, that you could see that indices of our own data frame have been changed completely. Like there is no regularity after after 11 there is directly 13. So this is not a correct format of providing data. So we are going to use a method known as reset index. Using this, we are going to reset all the indices, and you could see over here that the 31 data, the original data set was having 31 data, has been resetted to 29 indices. So three rows have been deleted or modified, and our data set is now completely ready for visualization and further machine learning purpose. And last but not the least, we need to provide this cleaned data into some another CSV for further machine learning model, right? So I'm going to convert it, and here you could see clean CSV looks like this. You are having everything like date, time in correct format, then you are having indices, then you are having all the calories values in proper range. You are not having any null elements. So in this way we are able to clean this data set. So that was the part of cleaning the data set. So did you get what all I was trying to show you and teach you? Did you understand how we just clean the data set? I'll just summarize a bit if you were too bored to see all these things. We just saw what series is, right? Then we understood how series combine to form a data frame, how data set in Python environment is treated as a data frame, and how we could do cleaning stuff on data frame. So with this, I just come to end the first part of the this session. Next, we are going to take a Kahoot meeting, a Kahoot quiz. So I'll like to call Abhishek, my friend, for this and for the Kahoot presentation. Okay. Until then, if anyone is having any doubt, and I'll just solve the doubt of a friend. Till then, I'll just stop my sharing. Okay. Okay, Abhishek, can you just present the Kahoot screen?
Yes, Nishant, I'm doing it.
Okay, Amrit is going to do. Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Akhilesh, Nishant, can you look at this question?
Yeah.
Akhilesh has.
I'm going to answer these questions. So first, Pratik was having, then why iloc is used when lock supports indices. Okay, so iloc is specifically used for integer indices, and iloc helps us for faster execution. See, lock function is again going to search inside the data frame. With iloc, we are having a faster searching mechanism, and that's the reason iloc function is used. So I guess I've answered your Pratik. I've answered your question. Next, Rohan Kadam. We use because you can directly use column names to access the columns rather than looking for indices. Okay, yeah, fine. But the reason behind is this, that it is internally searching and faster searching is done. Okay.
Nishant, just a
Yeah.
minute. Is my screen visible? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, guys, I want everyone to join this Kahoot quiz as we would like to know, and there's some gift vouchers. We are gonna give a shout out to you guys who's gonna be on the leaderboard. So make sure about that you join this Kahoot quiz, and also make sure that you don't join the Kahoot quiz with some random name. Do join this. Do join this with your proper name, because we need to give shout outs on your Instagram channels. So I guess that right now we are having 17, 18 count. Let's take this number up to 60. Yes. Yes, Nishant, you can continue.
Okay, so next was Achilles' question. A record refers to a row in a data set. Yes. Uh, we could say this as a preliminary information, but yes, we could say that record refers to a row. Next, but this is a very small data set. What if we have records greater than 10,000? Yeah, so for larger records, we are going to. What was your exact question, Akhilesh? Like, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say for data cleaning or like what? You could just unmute and ask. So, like, greater than 10,000 is also a record, and greater than, yeah, how could we clean such used data set? Yeah, so these all methods which I have shown you, drop NA or replace it with mean median mode, these all methods are actually used for used data set. All these methods are actually used for, I just have shown you a smaller version of how we can do it with a smaller data set. We could do it, these all methods are used. Okay, so next is, I guess I have answered your question. Shri is having, can we read data from text file and clean it? Yes, we can read data file and clean it. What, Achilles? I mean that, why would you write by going through each record?
Guys,
Obviously,
there's
it's a
48
time-consuming
members.
method, right? So that's the reason these functions are used. See, you need to understand that fill in a method has its own library creation, or if you understand, its own method has been written in C. Okay, so all Python libraries in internal all data is been written in C, and since C works faster for accessing the rows and elements records, so we are able to clean a huge data set in a faster time. Okay. Is anyone having any further doubts? We can now continue to cohort quiz.
Because there's 52 people in the quiz right now, and I
Okay.
guess we are having a count of 77. So let's join, guys.
Yeah, I'll just
Right.
answer the
And
last. I'll just
yeah,
answer the
sure,
last
continue.
one. Yeah. So how can we decide whether to replace values with mean, median, mode? Now, for understanding that, we need to understand basically how the data is. Like, if you are able to see a data range quite near to each other, then you could replace it with median. If you are able to see the data is like having multiple same values, we could replace it with mode. So like this, there are various methods we need to understand while seeing the data in the first glance. Since this is a basic session, I won't go much into depth of how we can use or how we can decide which values to be used. But I just gave you a preliminary answer. Is it fine, Prachi? Prachi Shirsagar? I guess I guess you have understood it. Now let's go back to Kahoot.
Okay, guys. Is anyone facing any issues, or else we are gonna start? If anybody facing any issues, then you can switch on your mic, or you can type it in the chat box also. Or else we are gonna start because we are getting a bit teeny tiny late. So there's 57. I'm gonna wait for 1 more minute, or else I'm gonna start. Okay, 56. Yeah, I guess we should start then. Okay, let's get started. Here's your first question in 3, 2, 1. There you go. How can we change the shape of the NumPy array in Python? Ooh, fast responses. Already 42 responses. Great, by Reshape. Most of you have answered the correct one. Great, let's see the scoreboard. And Gaurav Dalvi is on top with 965 score. Venkatesh on second, Ayushi on third. Let's go to second question, guys. NumPy in the Python provides the
Okay. Wow, nice. Fast. Please don't answer in chat box. Wow, nice. 50 answers correct. Good. Next question. Okay, so we are having again Gaurav Dalvi as the top. Okay. Good. Keep it up. Samruddhi is the highest climber. Okay, good. Next question. Shape function in NumPy is used to see all the answers carefully. Wow, fast. You're quite fast. 46, 47 answers. Wow, good. Good, good. Okay, now let's see correct answer. Yes, 41 got it right. Find the shape of the array. Good. Let's see the scoreboard now. Okay, so still Gaurav Dalvi is at highest position and Akhilesh is the highest climber. Good. Okay. Which of the following is correct features of data frame? Okay. So answer it very carefully if you have understood it well. Wow, you're quite fast still. 40 answers. Good. Wow, nice. Do you find this quiz quite easy? Like you are giving answers so fast? Okay, good.
I guess let's discuss it in the end.
Yeah, so 43 got it right. Yes, all of the above are the features of data frame. Good. Next, we'll see the scoreboard. Okay, still Gaurav Dalvi is top, and Venkatesh, Ayushi, Rohan, and Anish are followed by. Okay, good. Let's see the next question. Which of the following is the correct way to import NumPy module in program? I guess this we have.
I guess this is a
yeah,
easy one,
it's a
right? Right,
yes.
Nishant? Yeah.
Yes. I expect almost everyone to get it right. Cool. 52 answers. 54. Good. Okay. Still some got confused. Okay, it's fine.
Actually, you can import in any of the ways. Okay, so there's no issue with that. Let's
Okay,
get to
it's
next
fine. That's a
question.
trick question, I feel. Okay, so Ayushi is the topper now. Rohan, Suyash, Prajakta. Okay, good. Let's get to next question. Which of the following is true? Okay. Read the sentences very carefully. Wow, still quite fast we're answering. Good. 10 seconds. What it could be. Wow. Oh, 30 and 9 have got it right. Good. So you have understood basic of series and data frames. Still Ayushi is at top. Rohan, Shruti, Sabha, Suyash. Good. Let's go to next question. Which of the following object you get after reading CSV file? Okay, now this is a basic question and I guess you could answer it all of you right. Good, 50 answers done. Last 10 seconds. Okay. Wow. Still 28 got it wrong. Why did you think panel and character vector would be reading? I guess, okay, you need to see these things, okay? Data frame is the answer. Ayushi, Rohan, Sabha, Samruddhi, and Prajakta. Good. Shri is the highest climber. Good. Still three more to go. You can just cover up. Come on. What is the output? Take a look at the problem statement, okay? And think it in a proper way. What answer it would be? It is saying endim, right? We need to print endim. Wow, still many are answering it. Wow, nice. 19 got it wrong. Still, why other people thought 15, like 15 people thought 3 as answer. Series creates a single data frame, right? A series creates a single column. So the dimension would be 1. Okay. So let's see. Ayushi, Rohan, Prajakta, Sabha, and Pratik. Good. Sabha is having the highest streak of answers. Good. Next. Pandas key data structure is called. What is the key data structure of pandas? I
I
guess,
think I know the answer.
yeah,
And I guess people also know it because we are
yeah,
very fast
yes,
responses.
yes. Okay, let's see. Wow,
Ooh.
48 got it right. Still 6 people thought keyframe. Why? Why? Just because of key? Did you think so? Okay, that might be a trick question for those then. Good, but 48 got it right. Good. Let's see the scoreboard. Oh, nice. Ayushi, then Prajakta, Sabha, Gaurav. Gaurav is back. See, good. Gaurav, you have chance still. Right. Rohan is also there next. Good. Now we can
Here's
find
your last question, guys.
array in Python. Now we can find the type of numpy in Python. Come on. I guess this was answered in the session itself. So Wow. 31 got it right. Still 22 are thinking dot type would be the answer. Okay.
Let's get
Yeah.
to see the final scoreboard, right?
Yes. I'm excited to see. At third position with 9, Prajakta. Good. Second position, Sabha with 10 on 10. And for first position, it is Ayushi. Congrats. Yeah. And with the runner-ups, Gaurav and Rohan. Congrats, people. You are going to get something interesting
Shout
further.
outs.
With the, yeah.
Yes.
Now,
If
yeah,
possible, then do take a screenshot or something.
yeah, I'll take the screenshot. Okay. Now, be ready for the next part, that is data visualization. Okay. If you found data analysis interesting till now, next part would be double interesting. So just stay with us and try to understand the things. Over to you, Amran.
Yes, whomsoever who has code Ayushi, if you are in our WhatsApp group, then do text us there, okay? Because we'll need to know your Instagram handles. So now let's continue our session to our next section, which is the data visualization part. Okay, so I would like to call my friend Radhika for this to continue the next section. Radhika?
Yes. Hello, Amrit. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, Radhika, you are. Just let me stop the presentation.
Yes.
Yes, Radhika, you can continue.
Yes. Sure. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, Radhika.
Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Radhika Pandey. Hello everyone, and I'm Radhika Pandey. And today I'm going to throw some light on data visualization using MatplotLib Library and linear regression. So, let's start. First of all, what do you understand by the term visualization? Please comment in the chat box. To see, yes, yes. Okay, Anish says to imagine. Okay, plot data. Correct, Shri. Anurag says data representation. Akhilesh says data in graphical format. Yes, correct. So, yes, it is presenting the data in a visual format. So, okay. So, data visualization is presenting the data in a visual format. So, why do you think is visualization important? Yes, correct, Sanika, to optically understand the data. Correct. Mannan says data prediction. Yes, of course. If you do data visualization, it makes it easier to read the data. Correct. Okay. So we use visualization because it makes the data easy to read and understand. We use the visual data to make the data easily readable. Of course, because human brain finds it easier to understand and pull insights from the visual representation of data. Correct? So that's why this is the main purpose of doing data visualization. So today, to do data visualization, we are going to use the Matplotlib library of Python. So let's get started. These will be the topics covered under data visualization and Matplotlib library. Introduction, Matplotlib pyplot, plotting, markers, labels and titles, subplots, pyplots, bar plots, and histograms. So after Matplotlib is done, we are going to cover some parts of linear regression and scatter plots. So yes, let's get started. So yes, the Matplotlib is the visualization library. So if you don't have Matplotlib installed, the simple command to install MatplotLib is pip install MatplotLib. I'll show you how to do that. See. You can also use conda install MatplotLib if you have Anaconda environment setup. So here I already have MatplotLib library, therefore it says that my requirement is already satisfied. If in case you don't have, just follow this command. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, you know that I've already taught to you also what is NumPy, and if you want to use any library in Python, you need to import that library first. So here we will first start by importing our MatplotLib library, and in today's explanation, I am also going to use NumPy. So I have also imported NumPy as MP. So let's run this. Okay. If you this is optional. If you want your to see your matplotlib version being used, you can just do print matplotlib dot. This is double underscore. Okay, version. So let's see what my matplotlib version is. Okay, so it is 3.2.2. Nice. So one important thing, most of the matplotlib utilities come under the pyplot submodule. Okay, so that is imported under PLT. Okay, so let's see what I mean by this. So here I have again import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. When we will proceed further, you will eventually come to know what exactly a pyplot is and how we plot the lines. Okay, so let's see a basic example. Here, as already explained earlier by my friend Abhishek, you already know about NumPy arrays. So here I am declaring two NumPy arrays, x points and y points, and now I am gonna plot these points on my plot. Okay, so plt.plot of x point and y point. This array goes here and this goes here, and the resultant will be a plot with that plotted line. Okay, so let's see. Correct. So here you can see these are my data points. Does anyone want to say something? Fine. Do inform me in case my voice breaks somewhere or any technical issue occurs. Okay. So here I have plotted these two points on my plot. So you can see the line plot here. So this is a simple, very simple plot using the plot function of matplotlib. Here you can see that I have just specified 2 points. You can use multiple points here also, like instead of 1,6, you can add more numbers also. Instead of here being 10 and 250, you can add many more numbers here. So let's see how to do that. Okay. And also one more thing is that you can specify the color and width also. So here I have taken more than 2 numbers, and here I have also taken more than 2 numbers. Again, I have used the plot function in order to plot my line. So I want it to be x point comma y point, and here you can see that the default color is blue, but I don't like blue. Okay, let's say that I like pink color and I want my line to be of pink color. So I'll specify the color to be pink, and I find that this line is very thin. I want a thicker line. So you can do all these things also. You can add these parameters also to your function. Okay, so let's see what it gives. See here, using multiple points, I have plotted this graph. This is a beautiful pink color which is displayed here, and the line width here, it was 10, I guess 1 or 2 something. Here the line width is 15, so therefore I can see a thicker line plot. So these things also I can do here. If you don't want pink color, you can. If you want black color, you can type here K. K is the K is used for black color. Like for example, see, I have got now a black colored plot. So all these things you can try. This is a very interesting topic. Now let's understand what are markers. Okay. So here, let's keep this for example. So here, see, these are my data points. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. here these are not highlighted, and I want that my data points or the points that are being plotted should be highlighted. Okay, so in this case I will use the markers, and to use the markers I need to use the argument marker to emphasize each point with the specified marker which I want to use. Okay, so here I have used here by points is equal, again I have declared this array by points numpy array, and again plot function to plot your line plot, and then y points comma sorry, x point should not be here. A current marker I want this to be 0. Oh, let's see what it prints. Yes, correct. So this is my graph, straight graph, and here you can see that I have just specified y points here, and I have not specified the value for x-axis. So in this case, it will by default assume the value of x-axis. Like here you can see that it has assumed the value for the x-axis. If you want both the axes, you can just simply type here x. If I do something like this, I do something like x points is equals to, let's take the same thing. This is also the same thing, and here I do like x points comma y points. See, the same. So if you don't specify the value of any one of the axes, it will assume the default value corresponding to the value of other axes. So okay, so basic point was markers. So you can see here these are the data points, and it is clearly marked here. And this is this becomes easier for me to see where exactly are my points located. So this is the use of markers. Here I have used O. You can try using different. For example, D is for diamond. So let's see. These are the diamond shape markers. So there are just like O and D. You can also try for star, asterisk, less than, P, X, dot, etc. So these are basically what markers are. So format strings. Here again, format strings are used to make your plot look good or beautiful, or see. So the things you can do under format strings is that here this is a simple solid line, blue colored line. I can change this line type. I can change the line color. I can change the markers. So these are all the formattings that you can do to your plot. Okay, so again here I have declared a numpy array called y points, and I have used the plot function in order to plot the graph. So now what are these things? So the format strings is written with the syntax. First of all is the this is the format strings. Okay, so first of all it is written with first comes the marker, then the line type, and then the color of line that I want. Okay, so here you can, as already explained here, O is the marker type that I used, and this is the type of line that I want to be displayed. Okay, so dash and dot, this means a dotted and a dashed line, and R is the color of line that I want it to be plotted. So let's see the output. See, this looks beautiful, right? So here this is my marker. These are all circles are my markers, and this is the line type that I have specified, and this looks appealing, right? Just like this, you can also specify the marker size and color. If you wish that this is very small marker, so I can easily increase the size of these markers. So in order to increase the size, you use the MS argument. In order to color the edge, you use the MEC marker edge color, and in order to change the color of marker, you use the MFC argument. So let's see. Marker is type is D, marker size is 20, marker edge color, that is the boundary, this is black, and marker color is pink here. So this was all about markers. So let's see how to plot multiple lines. Here you can see a single line. Okay, so just like this, you can also plot multiple lines in your plot. So in order to plot multiple lines, just you need to use this function twice. Okay, so one is the red colored line, sorry, black color line, and another one is the green color line. So these are the two line plots. If not, if you don't specify the color, it will take the default colors, that is blue and orange. So labels and titles. Here you can see that the legends are not legends. This is just a plain plot. There is no title. There are no x and y axis specifications. So you can use the labels and titles to do that. How to do that? Again, I have specified two arrays and I have plotted the graph. And plt.title function allows you to plot the title of the graph. Xlabel function will allow you to write name your x-axis, and similarly ylabel for y-axis. And LOC besides title means the location of your title. So let's see the output. Correct. So here I have plotted a simple graph. Day-wise temperature. This is the temperature y-axis, and day is my x-axis, and I can see this graph. So this is a more readable graph, right? Location I have specified as left, therefore the title is there on the left side. This is very important because it makes your graph readable. So adding grid lines. As you can see, this plot is okay, clear, but having grid lines would have made it more easier to understand, right? So you can add grid lines using the grid function. Again, two arrays. I've used the same plot here. Just I've added the grid lines for y-axis. So let's see the output. See, the grid lines are added for the y-axis. Similarly, you can also add for x-axis also. If you specify here x, and if you specify both, then the grid lines for both the axes will be printed. If you don't specify, nothing. Both the axes by default lines are printed. So this is all about grid lines. Then now subplots. The most important topic is subplots. By using the subplots function, you can add multiple plots in one figure. Till now we have seen multiple lines in one plot, but now multiple plots in one figure. So basically subplot takes two arguments. The first two arguments are rows and columns, and the third one is the index. We'll understand what do exactly they mean by seeing this example. So I have again specified here plot 1 and plot 2, two arrays, two NumPy arrays you can see in both the plots. Now here, so here I have used 2, 1, 2. Okay. So this will take number of rows as 2, number of columns as 1, and the index for this plot is 2. Whereas this will again take number of rows as 2, number of columns as 1, and the index of this plot will be 1. So let's see the output. See here, as specified in this entire figure, the number of rows are 2, number of column is just 1, and the index specified for subplot 1 is 2. Therefore, the subplot 1 is printed below the subplot 2. If I do here 1 and 2, then see the changes. Now the subplot 1 has index 1. So this is the subplot 1 printed, plotted above subplot 2. Excuse me. So these are plotted horizontally. If you want it to be vertically, just specify here number of rows as 1, number of column as 2, and you can see the horizontal graph also. Sorry, vertical thing. See, beautiful, right? So plot 1 and plot 2. So this is all about subplots. Now, are you having any doubts? Okay, Praveen says if you have to plot two lines, we have to use 4x comma y inputs. No, if you want to plot two lines, just use that plot function twice. Okay, Praveen. Here
Yes,
I
sir.
have plotted two lines, so I have used this plot twice. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, nice. So let's start with linear regression. Linear regression is the very first thing you learn when you start learning machine learning. So what is exactly machine learning? That's covered by Amrit also. It is all about predicting the future values. So what exactly is regression? So regression exactly means relation between the value of one variable and its corresponding values. So this is what the literal meaning of regression. So what is linear regression? Linear regression is a linear approach to model the relation between variables. And it is mostly used when we want to predict the future values or the value of future variables based on based on one variable. Okay, so this is all about linear regression. So to install, here I am going to use Scipy library. To install Scipy, you just have to do pip install Scipy. I already have this, so therefore requirement is satisfied. So what is Scipy library? So Scipy library is built on NumPy, but this is a bit advanced than NumPy. This is used to do complex statistical and mathematical operations like finding integral, finding double integral, etc. So this is the Scipy, and Scipy dot stats will stats is the sub module, you can say, of the Scipy library. So this will enable you to perform mathematical operations. So as said, linear regression uses the relationship between data points to draw a straight line according to all of them. Just focus here, this is a straight line, okay? And this line can be used to predict the future values. So now let's get started. I've imported my from this Scipy library, I've imported stats module. So now again I have declared two arrays, and this is the stats.linear regress function. Now what will this function do? It will take the slope and intercept values, and it will calculate the values based on these two things. Okay, and then it will return a new value. This value will represent where on the y-axis corresponding to the x value the line will be plotted, or what will be the y values. So for this, I want to plot a straight line, right? So I will first of all write the equation of straight line here. That is y is equals to mx plus c. We all have learned this in our school. So I have defined the function and I have returned the value of y. So and then I have stored this in the my model thing. So what will this do is, it will take each value of array x through the function my function, that is I have used the my func function here, and therefore it will take each value of array x through the my function, and then it will create a new array y. Why I am doing this? Because I want to plot a line, so therefore this is basically calculating the value of y based on this formula. Then plt.scatter will print the scatter plots of x and y. These are the x points and these are the y points. And then plt.plot will plot my line of the regression. So x will be the x axis, and my model, that is these are the new calculated value of y, or you can say the value of y for the regression line. So this will plot. Plt.show will show the plot. So see, this is my linear regression plot here. So this line represents my regression, and the value r means the coefficient of regression. The value of r in this case is minus 0.75, which is okayish, you can say. It is a good fit, you can say, like not a very good fit, but okay, I can use linear regression for this problem. The r value ranges from -1 to 1. If it is -1 or if comes 1, you can say that it is a very good regression, and you can use linear regression, and the data points have a very good relation between them. But if your value of r is 0, it means that there is no relation between your data points, and therefore you can't use linear regression to predict your values. So here the plt.scatter will make the scatter plot, and this line of regression we have drawn with using Scipy. So this is about linear regression. So let's see the given examples predicts the future value. As I have said, linear regression will help you to predict the future values. So here I have specified these two arrays, the distance and speed. These are the corresponding distance like 5 kilometers, 7 kilometer you can see. And this is the corresponding speed based on that distance, that 5 kilometer for 99 you can say kmph, 7 for 86. So I want my function to predict what will be my speed if my distance is 10 kilometer. So let's see how it works. Again, in this function, based on the value of slope and intercept, the value of the unknowns will be calculated. My function will return the value of y points for my line of regression. And now, in this function, I pass the value of 10, and corresponding to that value, my speed will be displayed. So let's see. Correct. So the line of regression here, in order to highlight it to you, I have used red color for that line, and by default, these are the scatter plot will take the blue values. So this is also a good fit. I can use it. So you can say that my coefficient of regression here is minus 0.75, which suggests that the data points are related, and I can use it. And the predicted speed for distance 10 kilometer is 85.59 kilometer per hour unit. So this is all about linear regression part. Okay, so are you having any doubts? Great. Just try.
It's a quite easy part. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was just saying that it is a very interesting part, and it is a very you can try using different colors in Matplotlib to explore more about the library. And so this is very interesting part, and just try it. Yes, continue, Amrit.
It's a so I was actually saying that it's a quite interesting part because you need to play with graphs, okay, and you need to see so many colors, okay. So उतना ज़्यादा boring नहीं है ये. For what type of data would linear regression be used? For text data, especially Akhilesh.
Text data and the data should be related, okay? The data points, those should be related, as we have already seen with the value of r also.
If anybody having any doubt, then ask us in the chat box. Till then, let's go get to the next section.
Okay, so now I would like to ask my friend Amrit to continue about the other plots of Matplotlib.
Yes.
Yes, I'm stopping my presentation.
Yes, Rushikesh, we are gonna share you these files, okay? Okay, then let's get started. So बहुत easy part है, बहुत छोटा part है. So sorry for this much delay, but just wait for a few more minutes. Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell you about how you can use how you can present bars using Matplotlib. So to create a bar, I guess I don't need to tell you about what are bar graphs. So just you need to create a bar, you need to import the Matplotlib library, okay, and NumPy as well. We are gonna create two x and y arrays. Okay, x and y. Why we are using x and y arrays? Because this will become the x and y dimension of the bar graph. Okay, so let's run this graph using the bar function, right? We are gonna use bar function for creating bar graphs. So let's run this function. Okay, and yeah, see, as you can see that we have represented the array x in the x direction and the array y in the y direction. So, and that's how we are gonna create a bar graph, right? We can also use multiple string. You can also use strings in the x. So let's run this one also. Yeah, see, like for apples, we are having almost 400 count. For bananas, we are having almost 330 to 340 count. Okay, now what if you want to create horizontal bars? Let me tell you what are horizontal bars. Let's just run this function. For that, you are going to run the bar h function. Okay, so let's run this one, and this is what we call a horizontal bar. We are going to interchange the x and y direction, and that's how we generate a horizontal bar. What if we want to color the change the color of the bar graph, and want to change the bar width also? So to change the color of the bar graph, you can use any of the 140 supported color names: red, blue, green, orange, whatever. Okay, and you can also use hexadecimal color values. And for width, the bar takes the keyword argument width to set the width of the graphs. Okay, so by default, the width of the graph is 0.8. By default, the default value of the width is 0.8. So let's run this for this cell. Yeah, as you can see that now the width of the graph is quite small. Okay, it's 0.1, and we have changed the color of the graph also. So now what if we need to change the height in a horizontal bar graph? Got it? So in a horizontal bar graph, height is actually a width in the vertical bar graph only. So for that, we are going to use the argument height, right? Let's run that, and that's how we are going to get a horizontal. That's how we can change the width of the horizontal bar graphs. Now let's see the histograms. So a histogram is a graph showing frequency distributions. Okay, it's a graph showing the number of observations within each interval. Example, so you say you ask for the height of 250 people, you might end up with a histogram like this, right? You can read from the histogram that there are approximately 2 people from 140 to 145, and 5 people from 145 to 150. Got it? And 15 people from 151 to 156, and so on. So for a normal data distribution by NumPy, let me rerun this. Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay. So let's rerun this. What if you don't use the histograms? So if you use a random function, then you are gonna create this much numbers, right? And this is not really visually possible to depict, right? So for that, we are gonna use the histogram function, and for that we name it as hist, right? And let's run this cell as well. So using the hist function, we are going to represent this all much data in such a small histogram, right? And it's quite easy and it's quite fun actually. So what if we want to show pie charts? So to create pie charts, you can use the pie function. That's it. Nothing more fancy like that. So create a pie function, and we got our pie graph, right? So by default, the plotting of the first wedge starts from the x-axis and moves anti-clockwise. Okay, it starts from here and then it moves anti-clockwise, right? Easy. So what is its angular direction? 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360, and that's how we do it. Okay, as default, that's it is done in the matplotlib. Now, what if we want to add labels to the pie chart with the label parameter? So the label, we are going to use the parameter labels, and then there we are going to define it. Okay, and let's change it to 0. Okay, so you are going to use the my labels list for labeling, and start angle, let's keep it as 0 only, and run this cell. Yeah, we got the pie graph with a pie chart with the labels, right? Apple, dates, cherries, bananas. But what if we want to change the start angle? Right now it's 0 degrees, but now what if we need to change the start angle to, let's not take 90, let's take 180. Okay. Yeah, see, now the start angle is 180 degrees. You can also change that. Now apple is represented here, right? So easy peasy done easy. So explode. So maybe you want one of the wedges to stand out. So the explode parameter allows you to do that. And if specified and not none, it must be an array with one value for each wedge. Okay, so right now we are having 4 labels, okay, which means 4 wedges, and the 0.2 means apple's wedge will be 0.2 units away from the center of the circle, right? That's it, and we are going to use the explode parameter, right? Let's run this one. See, that's how we do it. We use the explode parameter to keep the apples 0.2 units away from the center of the circle, right? Now, what if we want to use legend with headers? So to add a header to the legend, add the title parameter to the legend function. I'm going to tell you what is actually a legend. It's quite easy one. So using the legend function, and the parameter will be named as title. Okay, let's run this cell. This rectangle box will be called as legend, okay, which represents which part of the pie graph represents what label. That's it, and these are the labels, and this part is the legend. That's it. Easy hai, bahut easy tha, nothing more fancy, right? If anybody having any doubts, then do share, then do write it in the chat box. Okay, we are open for questions, or else we are gonna proceed to our Kahoot quiz, because it's getting quite late also. So let's finish it up, and let's wrap this event as much as we can. If anybody is facing any doubt, or you can type in the chat box. Can my explode be used to place the legends as well? Okay. Place the legends as well. Can we? Okay, I've never tried this, but I don't think so, because my explode is actually takes that much parameter only, how much labels we have. Okay, so that's why. अगर मैंने कुछ और भी like दे दिया, let's suppose कि I take a parameter as again 0, right? Or 0.8 something, 0.7. Keep it. Nothing. It's gonna show you error. So actually you can't use my explode, right? This was very interesting. Thank you, Kadam. She mean that to explode legend from the center. Okay, you mean that legend is occupying the pie graph. That's what you mean, Sanika? Sanika? Okay, I have never tried this, but because actually most of the time it becomes easy for me. But let's see. I don't think that would be called as explode, because, but let's see. Okay, because I guess there will be something else for that, not the explode function, Sanika. It's not the explode function, I can assure you about that. We are not going to use explode function, because explode function is usually used for placing the labels, okay, not for the legends. Okay, any more doubts? Any more doubts, or let's head to the Kahoot section. Okay, yes, game pin is loading. Let's hope that we are gonna see different sets of winners this time. Now the game pin is 7758109. Yes, people have started to join.
Guys, I have posted it in the chat box. The game pin for Kahoot quiz.
$37 people, $38 people. Ooh. Some same names, some different names, I guess. Guys, if you are facing any issues, then do text us in the chat box. Okay, or you can switch on your mic also, or else we are gonna start in few minutes.
Come on, guys, join. This is going to be very interesting. Yes, Amrit.
Yeah, no, nothing. I hope you all enjoyed our session. We tried to keep it as basic as it could be. I know it's quite late to us, but bear with us a bit. Alcatraz is in the house. $45 guys, 5 more. Let's keep the count to 50. Okay, guys, I guess we are gonna start the quiz. And if anybody is facing any issue, okay, Alcatraz has rejoined. Alcatraz, you can't actually join from two login IDs, right? So do make sure about that. Okay, we have a count of 47 right now. I guess we should start, right? Right, Radhika? Is it fine to start now?
Yes, it's sure.
Lol. Okay. Let's get started. Whew, your final quiz has been started for data visualization. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
So here's the first question. The plot method in series data frame is just a wrapper around. Just look at the options carefully. It is covered in the session. Nice. 47. Okay, so 35 have answered it correctly. Correct. This is the plt.plot is used.
Let me remind you guys, our first 5 questions will be for 20 seconds and then next 5 questions will be for 30 seconds. Okay, so be fast for especially for the first 5 questions because these are easy ones. Let's see the scoreboard, and Yash is on the top.
Pratik, Rohan, Gaurav.
Yeah, let's jump to second question.
So pick out the correct combination with regard to the kind keyword for graph plotting. Which keyword is used for which graph? Precisely. Nice. 33 people have answered it correctly. Guys, there was a D option also which said both red and yellow. And hist is for histogram.
Guys, Yash is in the top again. Venki is on the second position, and we can see Ayushi again. Wow. Alcatraz is the highest climber, up 19 places. Congrats, Alcatraz. Let's go jump to the next question. Third question.
Okay, so third question states that the bar keyword takes which argument to set the width of the bars? The bar takes the keyword argument width to set the width of bars. Which type of bars?
Ooh.
Not both,
Guys, don't just put it because there's both or none. Do uh, do see the questions quite carefully. Okay, so bar actually used for vertical bars. Okay, let's jump to the next question. Let's see the scoreboard.
Yeah, and bar H for horizontal ones. So there's a difference.
Okay, so Rishikesh is in the top. We have our new top. Okay, and Anish is in the second. A whole new set, right? And Gaurav Dalvi is the highest climber. Let's jump to fourth question.
Fourth question is the function that will read the array and produce a histogram. So now you have to select the correct function for histogram. Ooh. 43 answers. Nice. Okay, time's up. Yes. Correct.
And Rishikesh is again on the top with 3524 score. Aniket is on the second, Anish is on the third, and Akshay and Alcatraz. And Ryan is the highest climber, up by 7 places. Congrats, Ryan. This is quite easy one, I guess.
Very, very easy question. No, guys. Not x is equals to my plus c. Y is equals to mx plus c is the equation of straight line.
Again, Rishikesh is on the top. Anish is on the second. Okay. And Yash is back in the top 5. Prachi is on the third. Gaurav again. Right. Let's see the next question. So from now on, you're going to have 30 seconds question. In pie chart, you want one of the wedges to stand out. Which parameter allows you to do that? I just covered it.
अब भी जस्ट हुआ कुछ देर पहले ये वाला तो.
Hope they understood actually. Yes, 34 quite right answers. Let's see the scoreboard. And again, Rishikesh is on the top. Anish is on the second. Prachi, Gaurav, and Ishan.
Rishikesh has the highest answer streak. Nice. 7.
In PLT.subplot 1 to 1, what does 1 to 1 specify in the given order? Take your time, guys.
It's the, like, in that order only, the question is asking. So be careful.
Okay, wow. So many people know the answers. Great. Let's see the scoreboard. And Anish is on the top, right, guys? We have a new top. First ranker is Anish, and Rishikesh is on the second. Prachi is on the third, and same one, right? Let's see the next question. It's the 8th question, guys. One figure can have. Sorry. One figure can have how many subplots? Let's see. "44 answers. Still for more." Okay.
Nice.
Whoa.
Correct. Can plot any number of subplots. There is no limit to it.
Yes, I guess Rishikesh and Anish is having a quite battle right now with just 19 scores difference. Great. Not trying 19, sorry, my bad, 11. And Gaurav is on the third position, Prachi and Isha. Yes, Radhika.
This is a very interesting fight going on. I'm very excited to see the winners.
Guys, second last question. Or you can call third last. Ooh, okay. If value of the coefficient of correlation is R, then the data points are not related at all. Okay.
Yes, because the value of R is 0.
Yes, Radhika, the value of R is 0. It's correct. And we have The option red as the highest chances. Okay. The data points are rated and a very good fit. No, not at all. It's a basic maths question.
Guys, if they are not related, so how can they be in a good fit, right? So R is 0 means that points are not related at all.
Let's see the next question. Ooh, Anish is on the top again. Quite a battle right now here. And sorry for all those players who just dropped their answer streak of 4. And there are some new names in the score, top 5, Nikita and Anushka. Congrats to both of you. Let's see the next question. Guys,
Okay,
last
so
question.
linear regression uses which relationship between the data points to draw which type of plot you can see. Ellipse, parabola, hyperbola, straight line.
Guys, the last question. Okay. Oh.
Oof. Thank God. Straight line, yes. Correct.
So I guess many of you have understood what we tried to tell you about data visualization at least. Let's see the scoreboard. Okay, Anish is on the top. Rishikesh, Ishan, Nikita, and Sharayu. Okay, she's the new one.
Next is a very, what do you say? Answer this very carefully, guys.
Yeah. How was today's session? By the way, कुछ भी करोगे वो correct ही होगा. हाँ, पहले बोल दे रहा हूँ.
Great.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Majority of people liked the session. Thank you.
Okay. We were that much. इतना bored हुआ क्या green वालों को यार?
Okay.
ठीक है. We'll definitely try something interesting from next time. Thanks for your feedback. But I guess we are going to focus on this number, 37, right?
Yep.
Yes. Let's see the final scoreboard. And in third position, we have Ishan. And in second, we have Rishikesh. And in first position, we have Anish with 8849 score. And Nikita and Sharayu are the runner-ups. Congrats to all 5 of you.
Congratulations, guys.
And you can text us in our WhatsApp group, okay? Because we will need your name and Instagram IDs. So don't forget about that. Congratulations to all of you, all the participants who won, who doesn't won, who lost, but you tried your best, right?